The special counsel David Weiss, who brought charges against Hunter Biden, is objecting to the charges being thrown out following the pardon. He's also rejecting claims that he selectively prosecuted the president's son. Here for insight into the legal matters surrounding the pardon is Paul Kamenar. He's the lead counsel at the National Legal and Policy Center. Hi, Paul. With prejudice,
Hi,
without prejudice? That's what we were just talking about. And now this is showing up again with Special Prosecutor David Weiss saying that he doesn't want these charges, the tax charges and so on, to be thrown out with prejudice. Does that just mean that he wants the record to show that his indictment is legitimate and that Hunter Biden is guilty of the crime according to the law and the courts? It's just that he walks free because of a pardon. It doesn't really change anything?
Yeah, basically that's true. Yeah, he wants to make sure there's a record here. This is not an expungement request, which means your record's swiped clean as if it never happened. No. So David Weiss is right to make sure that there is a record for history that these charges were brought. And keep in mind that, yes, Hunter Biden was found guilty by a jury, but in the California case, he pled guilty. So he publicly said, yes, I'm guilty of these crimes. So this is kind of a interesting ploy by Hunter's attorney to try to erase the record, but that's not going to happen.
And Paul, would there be any legal proceedings that the defense would have made, trying to say like, okay, we're expecting a pardon possibly, so we're going to go and we're going to plead guilty? Is that a possibility?
No, I don't think so. I think the most that could happen is if they want a delay in the sentencing, because as you know, the sentencing was coming up in the next week or two for both the case in Delaware, the gun case, and the tax case. So he may have said, hey, to the court, hey, hold off. I think there's a pardon coming with the sentencing, so don't waste your time sentencing me. But other than that, there cannot have been a delay in this case. So, Biden could have waited until his last day in office and then given him the pardon, because to see what kind of sentence Hunter Biden got. I mean, he may have gotten just probation. I doubt it, but that's also was a possibility.
And in this whole process, President Biden said that a plea deal would have been a reasonable outcome here, not the jail time, thus the pardon. Now, the American people are wanting answers because, according to President Biden, this is a politically motivated attack. And given that Hunter Biden's last name is Biden, they came after him. Maybe they wouldn't have. But I mean, Joe Smith, who lives at 123 Main Street, would he have been charged if he evaded $1 million in taxes? Have you seen any evidence that this is politically motivated?
Well, not only did we see evidence that this was politically motivated, we've seen just the opposite. We had two IRS whistleblowers, nonpartisan, testify under oath that they were blocked from doing further investigation in Hunter Biden's laptop and any connection to President Joe Biden. And also Hunter Biden actually filed a motion in the Delaware court saying, hey, dismiss this case because it's politically motivated, it's selective prosecution. And the court saw through that, said, no, there's no evidence of that. And furthermore, he got a break because the special counsel didn't charge him with the Burisma tax violations, let alone also the Foreign Agents Registration Act violations. So he got a huge break as it was. So it was not politically motivated. And for Biden to say that now, you go, well, wait a minute, those are the same complaints your son were making months ago. So what changed? Or why did you give him the pardon now? Why don't you give him it way back when he pled guilty to all this stuff?
So, Paul, we know from experts that pardons are absolute. There's no way that Congress can overturn it. The courts can overturn it. Right. It's good to get your confirmation there. But now, at the same time, this pardon spans a decade. It's 2014 to the current day. That would span all the allegations of the tax and gun charges, as well as the time that Hunter Biden served on the board of Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. Now, the White House, in talking about all this, said that President Biden issued this pardon so that his political opponents, maybe the incoming Trump administration or what have you, wouldn't be able to go after Hunter for any crimes that he may have committed if they were doing it for a political attack. Now, do you think that the actual actions that Hunter Biden took on that energy board would be part of what they're trying to shield Hunter from?
Well, it could be a number of things. It could be just the money that was laundered through basically fake accounts that went through to 10 Biden family members. Well, here's the backfire of this pardon, because now that he's been given a complete pardon, the Justice Department under Donald Trump can go after Joe Biden himself and his brother Jim, who was part of this money sloshing around from various fake accounts. Because Hunter Biden, if he's under oath, can't say, "Oh, I plead the fifth. I can't talk of what I did with my dad and my uncle." No, because now that you got a full pardon, pal, you're not under any liability. So I think Joe Biden actually did something that might come back to bite him.
Well, that's very interesting analysis from you, Paul Kamenar, Lead Counsel at the National Legal and Policy Center. Thanks for getting on the show early with us.
You bet, anytime.